Hello friends, welcome back. Today we are going to do some super fun hair and we are going to take this to this, some multicolor fringe, fun chunky lights, vivid color, little mixture between pastel and vivid, but so much fun. Look at all those beautiful colors, and here is half up, half down. I just had to show a little extra because I'm so obsessed. So let me show you how I did it. Now, I didn't touch up their roots this time. We decided to leave those. You can see we have a lot of old faded color. They had like black tips a while ago. Those are still hanging on. This is what we did last time. Super cute, just multi-dimensional, bunch of fun colors through there, but we've got some leftover like purples, greens, oranges, yellows, all that good stuff. But that's what we did last time. We are always doing something fun, but first I am going to get them all sectioned out, and I am going to take about inch wide sections and I'm just gonna bring it down, but there is gonna be a slight diagonal forward to it. You can see that slight slant that I have in that section, but I am just gonna follow that pattern all the way around the head. And as I go following that curve in the back of the head, they'll keep moving in that diagonal forward until I finish with a little triangle on the very bottom. Now they do have a small undercut, so it'll go down a little further on a regular head that doesn't have a little bit of shaved underneath, but pretty much we're just gonna save that last triangle right there. And then we can get started. I am using all Danger Jones semi-permanent colors. I'll make sure to put the formulas up for you guys as I make my way through, and it will definitely be in the description as well. And there's a better view of all of the sections, and we are just going to start painting them now. So when I started the color pattern, I of course did what I always do, where I ask my client what color they want by their face. They said they wanted to do yellow, so we are going to start with yellow. As always, I'm making no cuts in this whole first section, so you can see exactly how much time I spend on it, where I saturate it, how I separate it, and then that way as I move forward, I can kind of cut it up and you already know what I'm doing. But this is not cut right here. Kind of split it in half there, really massage it through. Now, the other thing I will say is they have fringe. So if they don't have bangs or fringe, then you might section that top a little bit differently than I did. But I left their fringe in a triangle, but there is a little bit of their fringe in the yellow because I want the yellow to be the color that shatters over the top of their bangs. And so if I'm putting that yellow first, I'm going to be following the color pattern backwards when I get to the bangs, and I want that yellow to shatter over. So it's going to be framing their face as well as being that little top part color that goes over the top of the bangs. I hope that makes sense. It will when you see it after. But make sure if they have fringe that you are including a little bit of them into that first section because you want that color to be the one that shatters over the top. But I am just really saturating with this color. Okay, so formula, yellow, I am using 60 grams of Raygun, which is the neon yellow, and 8 grams of Starrider, which is the regular marigold yellow. Both absolutely beautiful. Now the Raygun, because it's a neon, it can be a little light. I wanted the color to be a little bit deeper, so I added just a little bit of Starrider, and that's just gonna make it slightly deeper than it would if I hadn't. But I like to sometimes comb that color through. That way I know it's all saturated, and then really work it in. You really want to move the hair around and just really make sure that color is saturated. It also will really help you if you are applying color like this on freshly shampooed, no conditioner hair. The conditioner can create a barrier, so you really want it to be clean hair that you're putting it onto. I'll tell my clients if they want to save time, they can come with clean hair that's already been shampooed, no conditioner, and then we can just start. Or for a little extra time, then I can shampoo it for them, do a little clarifying, blow dry it, and then we can do the color. But you will have much better results if you are doing that. Let's move on to our purple section. My purple formula is 50 grams of Exotica and 10 grams of Libertine. Now, Exotica is the pastel purple and Libertine is like the blurple. It's supposed to just be violet, but there's like definitely like a bluey purple more in that Libertine, more so than like Masquerade that's just a straight purple. But like I said, just a little bit of that dark purple with mostly our pastel and just working that through. And you guys are gonna be so impressed when you see how well this covers all of that old color that's hanging out. You can't even tell that it was there. I also was kind of selective how I did my color pattern based on the colors that were still there in that section. This one was pretty purple and the one behind it was pretty blue. So I figured those would be great for that. I also didn't want it to look like a rainbow. Not that they don't like rainbow hair. We've done rainbow hair a lot, but I just wanted to switch it up. So I thought by putting the colors next to each other that normally wouldn't go next to each other like they would in a rainbow, it would just make it look more like a funky block chunk color instead of a rainbow chunky color. So otherwise, if I would have gone yellow, pink, purple, blue, it definitely would have had more of that rainbow vibe. So depending on what you want, you can do whatever colors you want and whatever order you want. But as always, you can see I split that section in half to make sure that it's really covered there, and then just saturate and pull through. So my blue formula is going to be 40 grams of Ransom and 20 grams of Oblivion. So Ransom is the new pastel teal, and then Oblivion is the regular dark teal. So we have like a really nice pastel teal, but it's got that little bit of a more kick to it than a standard pastel. Love that. And then we're moving on here to our pink. Oh, I love how vibrant that is. It's so gorgeous. It's like it could burn your eyes. It's so vibrant. But once again, split it in half. Really make sure that you are saturating. And our pink formula is 50 grams of Cheap Date with 25 grams of Hustler. Cheap Date is the pastel pink and Hustler is the regular magenta. So once again, it's mostly that pastel color with some of the darker color mixed in. But oh, I mean, that is just like the most beautiful bright pink. Absolutely love it. And now we are almost through all of our back sections. I am just going to keep saturating, making sure that I split it in half. Now, it's a lot easier when you have the grown out roots like this, for sure, because then you don't have to worry as much if the saturation went all the way through. When it's all the way at the root, you really have to take super thin sections to get it all in there. But you can see I split it apart and saturate. I also added the B3 Brazilian Bond Builder into all of my color bowls. That's going to help with strength and longevity. And we are just gonna keep painting. And if you're wondering about the length, they had a bit of a mullet before. So this is like a grown out mullet that you are witnessing. So in case, no, I did not like cut too much off the front. It didn't like melt or anything. They just had a mullet. They actually are also a hairstylist, so they will sometimes just take a feather razor and do their own hair cutting themselves. So more power to you. I just get to do the fun colors. But look at how beautiful that yellow is. It's so gorgeous. So now I'm repeating the exact same patterns on the other side, and I tried really hard to make my sections the exact same so they match up. But I'm following that same pattern with starting with yellow, then going into my purple, nice and saturated. Next we had our blue. I guess teal. I keep saying blue, but it's definitely more of a teal, which it like looks like my wall, the same color as the paint. Actually, it's definitely like my old salon. If you see my older videos, it was a much brighter teal in that one. This one's a little more muted now. Love it. But we are all over here in the back, following that same pattern with our pink. And then we can do the same thing right here with our yellow. Now, after we finish this one, we are gonna move to the fringe. And I kept changing my mind how I wanted to do it. At first, I was gonna do little ribbons of color, but then I decided to do it the way that I did. And I'm so glad that I did, because I love the look of all the different colors shattering over each other. You will see, it's very cool. So now we're on that last triangle I was talking about in the beginning. And I'm going to split the triangle in half. And I'm going to do the top part with my purple. And once again, super saturate, split it in half, go under, over, side to side, get it all in there. And then on the very bottom, I'm going to do my teal again. And really saturating. I just love these colors. It's giving 90s, like, I swear, 90s everything, like Saved by the Bell, Taco Bell, it's all Bell stuff, but it's just the colors of the 90s. I know that 90s kids will feel me. And gorgeous. Now we can stop and go back to the front. So now I'm doing the same thing, but I'm taking really, really, really tiny slices. So you'll be able to see a little bit better. I'm gonna move the camera, but they are just really small, and I am continuing the pattern. So the next one would be pink after the yellow. And then we are going in with blue. And I'm doing those really, really, really tiny slices with that slight diagonal. I'm going to do basically the same thing that was in the back of the head, where I'm going to end with a little triangle, and then that triangle is going to be yellow. So I've got the purple right next to the blue. So those three really tiny slivers, you can see just how small they are. And I've got pink, blue, purple. And remember, there's a little bit of the yellow in that first panel that's going to be in the fringe. But taking my super tiny thin sections, think of them as like baby lights. They are so, so thin. And really saturate. I like to really try to be careful and not get it all over their face. It definitely is hard when you're doing fringe like this. That finished our last little purple slice, and now we are down to our triangle. And so this one, I am just going to color yellow. You can see there's still a little bit of that green color. I'm not worried about that because it's underneath, it's the very bottom of the fringe. So that is going to be perfectly fine. We'll just color that yellow. They are gonna process now for 25 to 30 minutes. Rinse that out with ice cold water. Super, super good. Really, really rinse that out. And then I finish them off with K18 mask, the K18 volumizing spray, and the heat bounce spray, the Leaf and Flower 7-minute blowout, and the Leaf and Flower frizz remedy spray. Curled them up, and you will get to see it very soon after I wipe their face off. And here is our beautiful after. Look at how cute that fringe is, but you see how those little tiny pieces of yellow shattered over the top? That's why it's so important to incorporate some of the beginning of the fringe in that first panel. And here is all of our really cool chunky lights. It totally doesn't have that rainbow look because we mixed up those colors. So that's awesome. And here it is with some butterfly clips, because you guys know I love my butterfly clips. So cute. But thank you again for joining me for another fun tutorial. I hope you like this one. I'm a huge fan of anything vivid and anything chunky, so I know I loved it. Please like and subscribe. Leave me a comment if there's anything that you would like to see in the future. I love responding to them. And here are a few of my favorite shots. Oh, so cute. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.